The information I'm going to share with you in this next series of videos is going to become critically important as we enter 2023. I believe we're going to be coming up against a very serious recession. I think most people would agree with that. Recently, I watched some videos from electrical contractors on how they price their projects, and some of the advice I got was to keep increasing prices until you're making a whole bunch of money and you still have enough work to support yourself. Well, the last number of years have been very good to contractors, and they've been able to capture huge margins. If we go into a recession, that's all going to change. Things are going to get much tighter. And for contractors who don't know how to succeed in a tight market, they're probably going to cease to exist. And I'm basing this statement on the many recessions I've been through in my lifetime. I've made it my life's work to know, understand, and manage labor efficiently. I'm not talking about project management here. I'm talking about field management. In this video series, I'll be addressing estimating, material management, labor management, field training, data capture, scheduling, and total accountability from estimation to installation. Let's start with scheduling.
As an electrical contractor, you should not be using the same scheduling software that your general contractor is using. General contractors primarily manage subcontractors. While it is true that some general contractors do self-perform portions of their project, typically, the larger portion of their oversight involves managing subcontractors. Electrical contractors manage employees. Managing employees profitably requires an entirely different focus than managing subcontractors. As an electrical contractor, labor is your most difficult budget to manage. We're going to make that a whole lot easier. In doing so, we're going to make profitability and on-time completions much more consistent. How many of your projects went way over budget last year? Let's fix that. Can we agree that as an electrical contractor, when you sign a contract to build a project, based on an estimate that you compiled for that project, by default, that estimate becomes your goal. At the very least, it's your goal to complete that project at or below the agreed price, correct? Industry standard scheduling software is not your best choice to assist you in managing that goal. Remember, you are primarily managing employees. In order for that scheduling software to assist you, your employees need to understand it, and it needs to be structured in a way that helps them maneuver through your project from A to Z. Those employees in the field who are turning the screws are going to affect the outcome of that project. That means they need to understand the goal and must be held accountable to it. Here are the rules I follow regarding goal setting. Goals should be written and clearly defined. Goals need specific time limits. Time frames should be challenging in order to create a sense of urgency, but realistic enough to be achievable. Large goals should be broken down into milestones or tasks that lead one after another to the completed goal. Milestones or tasks should be prioritized in order of execution to complete the overall goal or respective phases of the goal efficiently. Be flexible. Work out of order if circumstances dictate the need, but get back on track as soon as you are able. Since your field crews play such a large role in the success of your project, they need to understand their role and be held accountable to the time constraints of the tasks they're being asked to perform on the path towards that success. In order to convey that information to them effectively, your estimate needs to be formatted in a way that will provide them with that valuable information. This estimate was created with Electrical Bid Manager by Vision Infosoft, which is my preferred commercial estimating software. While you can succeed with the techniques I'm about to show you with the spreadsheet system, commercial estimating software will greatly enhance your speed and success, so I recommend it. However, the formatting on this estimate is almost useless for conveying the information we need to get to your crews. The information we need must be much more granular. The depth on granularity will be determined by the size of the project. The larger the project, the less granular the estimate needs to be. While we want the crew to understand their role and time per task requirements, we don't want to bog them down with too much detail on larger projects. This breakdown of the same estimate in Electrical Bid Manager is much more productive in achieving our goal of completing on budget because it tells us the exact hours and material per task. This is an estimate for a small commercial project, so it's very granular. I chose this level of granularity in order to clearly illustrate your goal. Obviously, if you're building a much larger project, you would chunk it down into larger tasks. With commercial estimating software, this is easily achieved using breakdowns. Most commercial software will automatically break out by phase of construction. From there, you could also break out by room or by floor, etc., for larger projects. But you do need some type of sensible granularity. One big advantage of this format is that when you create a schedule with it, it will be deadly accurate. Now, I can already hear your estimator crying over there in the corner, so please, someone get him or her on their feet and help them back to their office. We don't need them for this exercise. We want to keep them in their office cranking out estimates in whatever format they prefer to use. There's no reason to worry about granularity on a project that you have not even won yet. So let's save that work for a pre-construction manager after the project is won. I've done this for over 30 years, and on large projects, we may actually be able to use that estimator's estimate as it is through the power of commercial estimating software. And if after this demonstration you would like to discuss some simple methods of achieving the correct granularity, please give me a call and we can discuss simple options. If you want to lean out your installation labor and undercut the competition, this is the way to get that done. Now let me introduce you to the scheduling software you ought to be using and show you why we need that granularity. Construction Profitability Software by Estimateguard. Okay, so before I close this video out, real quickly, I want to kind of show you where we're headed with this. So I'm going to go ahead and export the estimate out of Electrical Bid Manager. I'm going to import it into the Construction Profitability Software, and it'll automatically create a schedule for us. So we'll take a look at that. In subsequent videos, we'll go deeper into this system, but I just wanted to give you kind of a quick high-level view of where we're headed before we close this video out. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Extension Spreadsheet. That's going to bring up an exact copy of the same estimate that we've been looking at, except that it's in a spreadsheet format. I'm going to click on Export. You'll notice it's already got an Estimateguard selection here. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to save that into Downloads. Then we are going to go out of here and we'll take a look at the Construction Profitability Software. Click on the Import EP File tab. We'll go ahead and browse over to our download folder.
Here's our file. I'll go ahead and select it. You can see that that's been imported in. I'm going to click upload. And then we're going to process that uploaded file. So it wants me to tell it what column we're using for our phase field. Pretty simple. It's going to be this phase field right here. I'll go ahead and select phase. And then for our task fields, we're going to use section. And we'll select the extended labor, price unit, and then we're going to import this data. So you can see the file's been successfully imported. I entered that into a new project here. It's just a generic project that I created real quickly. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Gantt chart, and we'll click View Chart. So you can see that all of our phases of construction have been imported, and all of the tasks under those phases of construction have all been imported in for the entire project. And they're already in the order that create the flow of the project. The only thing we need to do to complete this Gantt chart is select our crew size. That will change the duration based on how many men we throw at this task, because the software knows how many hours are available for that task. It's going to divide it by the manpower. Then we'll just select our start date for each task, and the Gantt chart will be complete.
Thanks for joining me today. If what we discussed interests you, please subscribe and click the bell notification, because from here on I'm going to take a deep dive into this software. It has a lot of width and depth to address all the information you need to manage and evaluate your projects. Our goal here is to identify and address issues on your project before they cost you a fortune, and I'll show you how to accomplish that. I'm also going to provide you with the training your crews need in order to understand their roles and responsibilities in working under this system. Because this is not just another scheduling software. It's a complete system of field management that has been tested for over 30 years on projects as large as $85 million. I hope to see you back here and continue our discussion. Thank you.